All right, so me and Mike are technically back. I kind of wanted to do this, so we're gonna have a little extra 3 episodes here. One for the Parallel Works, one for Childhood's End, the Gurren Lagann movie, and the Lights in the Sky Are Stars, the second movie. So, yeah. Funny thing here, this is a fresh takes for me as well because I'm terrified to barely even open that collector's case. I've never actually watched these before just now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so this is just as fresh for you as me. I've seen the movies. I've never watched these Parallel Works before because I didn't know they were on YouTube until I looked it up.
Yeah, so for those who don't know, these Parallel Works came out kind of in conjunction with the movies. Mm-hmm. Like the first batch came out around like June of 2008, and then the second volume came out in 2010. There's 15 of them total. Two of them are based around the Rap is a Man's Soul, mm-hmm. which is interesting.
Some of these are just weird.
Yeah, we'll get into some of the weird ones.
Like I can't unsee 5.
Yeah, 5 was I don't even know. The first one is normal enough and kind of more what I was expecting them all to be.
I'm also going to ask a question at the end of this. I want to see like which one of these ones that actually show like somewhat alternate universes versus just the kind of like scenery ones that you'd actually like to see an anime series out of.
Well, I think right off the bat, number 1 is kind of where I'm what I'd like to see a little bit more of. Mm-hmm. So the first one, Rap is a Man's Soul, we surpass the impossible and kick reason to the curb. Open your ears wide and listen to Team Gurren's theme. So for this first one, in a medieval Europe setting, Simone, Kamina, and Viral infiltrate a castle where Nia is held captive by a grand Zamboa-like enemy. Viral's wife and Yoko also make appearances. Yeah, this one's weird.
Yeah,
it's good. It's a good weird, but it's weird. It's weird how Yoko is used, and I guess Viral's wife.
Yeah, like Yoko is an antagonist for roughly 30 seconds.
Yeah, I'm not sure why that was the case.
I don't. Yeah, and of all things, she fights with a staff. And then, like, he knocks her away and then just kind of stops her from falling over and walks away.
What was cool though is like those beasts that they were fighting that kind of looked like more organic, mechanic gunmen.
Yes.
Those were pretty cool.
Yeah. This is going to be weird because we're basically going to describe the entire scene. That was it. Everyone who doesn't know, each one of these is max 6 minutes long.
Yeah, so, the longest one, which might actually be one of my favorites, is the 9th one. That's like 8 minutes.
8 minutes, yeah. That one's weird. But yeah, so they basically emerge victorious. Simone defeats the enemy, which is like, I don't know if that's meant to be like a weird looking version of Lagann.
It could be.
But he vanquishes it in a very short order. It's kind of it. But it was basically got to see them be like partially a samurai and a knight in medieval times. It's different, but it's like all of just I would have loved to have been a part of the pitch meeting where it's like we're gonna put out these movies and also come up with some really random ideas for what we could plop the characters into.
I'll say this is the most This is the most similar to what I was expecting them to be. Like, I didn't expect the more experimental batshit ones that that come up later. But I was expecting like sort of like literal alternate universe versions of these characters, like, you know, sending them in medieval Europe. That's fine.
Yeah.
A Western setting, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Were you expecting none of these to have dialogue, like said dialogue? I forgot to mention that part.
No, because when it said music videos, I
Yeah.
got the gist.
Okay. Yeah.
The next one, Baff being fired up like this. Don't you like it? Vero encounters a Penchico gunman and then unleashes it on Kamina, Yoko, and Simone. And okay, so it's a ping pong machine.
Yeah,
pretty much.
It's what they basically, it's what a lot of betting machines in Japan are. There are a lot of themed machines where they make a lot of money off of. But they just basically have a fight in space where they play pinball and gamble against each other. I have seen parts of this and I thought it was a joke. I thought someone just animated this in their free time because it popped up in a random like thing on Facebook. I didn't know that was one of the parallel works until I watched this.
Is there a reason why they're all like chibi designs?
That's what those machines are kind of like. They're like a lot of them will take animes and then like make cutesy versions of them and put them in casinos and different stuff like that to like be like, these are the characters you like, but it's different. it's weird. There's like a whole entire Gundam TV show anime that's completely chibi.
Yeah,
weird stuff.
I remember that one.
Yeah, it's weird. There's a lot of weird stuff.
Man, I don't want to say the title of this one, but I have to.
Oh, before we go, the only weird thing that's weird in that last one is you get to see Kamina's death animation partially for 2 seconds.
Okay, that is weird.
Like when he fades off into white for that little bit, it's when he says "later, buddy" in episode 8. I was like, okay,
yeah. Like, did you need to show that?
No, but anyway, yeah. Say the title for the third one. That doesn't match the fucking thing at all.
Tits versus Tits, a version of the series in an artistically stylized medieval Japan setting. What?
I don't know. This is one of the ones where I was just like, what the actual hell am I watching? I don't know how to describe it to people. It's like the ancient tapestries where you'd see people like draw out battles. That's basically what this was, but animated. It's weird.
Yeah. I like the fourth one, Bust Through the Heavens with your Triple X.
Yes.
In a steampunk Wild West theme, Vero is a horse riding hero leading the oppressed beastmen against Kamina, riding Gurren as a roving bandit. So this one kind of flips the script where Vero is the protagonist.
Yeah, along with all the beastmen, and you kind of get Adine turning into the Yoko of that group. It's weird. You get to see all the four the generals like helping him pilot his thing. Also, I don't know if you noticed that Enkidu, his gunman, the horn is the exact shape of the mane on his horse.
Oh wow!
I didn't notice that at first. I was like, what? Also, his horse jumps onto the deck of the Gurren and it like destroys. I don't know. These are this is another one that I actually wouldn't mind like seeing a full series out of.
Yeah. So far the most normal but still kind of out there concepts are the first one and the fourth one.
Yeah, now the fifth one that I wish I could unsee.
Yeah, this one is Rapids of Man's Soul, open your ears wide and listen to great communist theme, the man who believes in himself and surges at heaven. A nude gimme steals articles of clothing from Simone, Kamina, and Yoko using Kancho.
Yes, even Cam chose the Gurren Lagann. I was like, I just don't get it.
Yeah, I don't even know what to say about this one. Just it's another one that they randomly use the chibi designs.
Yeah,
and I don't get it.
I don't get it either. And like, the worst part is, he's quite clearly a child,
Oh yeah,
and like, they did not need to animate. Oh boy, let's just get away from that one because that one's weird.
yeah. Okay, episode. Here's episode 6. To hell with combining. In a modern-looking alternate setting, humans pilot Lagann and Gurren against beastmen-like enemies in Gunmen, and then team up with other humans against a die gunman.
This kind of seemed like they were in the middle of like beginning into a concentration camp at the start of it, didn't it?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, that was weird. And it's like you don't know what they're setting up for, obviously, because they just wanted to get the fight in there. But I was just kind of like, I would have liked to have seen where that would have went before the fight happened. But
Oh yeah.
I don't know. That's just me. You got to see different versions of what they looked like. Like, I believe with the weird red-haired, spiky-haired guy is supposed to be Kamina.
Huh.
I don't know. Like I said, this is my first time seeing these, and I don't know. I just don't know. But everyone, go watch these. We're trying to describe them in like greatest detail as we can, and like we said, we basically said the entire clip in just the synopsis. But I wanted to cover these, so
Yeah. If nothing else, this is just sort of like our PSA saying, "Hey, these things exist."
yeah, exactly. So
including the next one, "Libera Me from Hell," an experimental real-world look at the environment of the surface, portrayed in the first half of the series, which includes the shadow of a man running and a skull motif, possibly in reference to Kamina's father. Okay, this one actually was pretty cool. It's really just like a live action sort of montage of pretty much the scenery you see in episode 2 is when they actually make it up to the surface, right?
Yep. Well, where they make it up to the surface in 1, but they actually start walking around the surface in 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's where Kamina finds the skull of his father and is like, it's like, I made it here, just like I said.
Yep. It's weird. Again, I would have loved to have been part of the pitch meeting where they're just like, what if we just look something that looks like a what do I want to say, National Geographic ad, but have Rat as a band soul or Libra Free from Hell playing in the background. I'm like, and then they eventually zoom out. They basically show the entire show's settings because you do eventually go out to space.
Yeah, that part was actually kind of cool.
Yeah, all of the art in it is just outstanding. I'm glad that they did the little things like this. So yeah, that one was cool.
Next one. All you bastards get fired up. This is the story of Lord Genome's past with the first war against the anti-spirals, Lord Genome's descent into madness, and the rise of the Beastmen.
Yep. Something that's weird that I noticed, because I had to pause it and look back, it looks like Nia is playing with a non-Beastman version of Guame in the first couple seconds of this video. I wouldn't think Nia would have been born yet like this, because what it looks like, if you go back and you watch this one, it looks like Nia after she gets like the jacket when she starts staying with Team Gurren, when she like gets covered up. It's weird because it's after she gets her hair cut. It's really weird.
Yeah, and interesting. Is this one of the first, like one of the only ones to really be? Well, I don't think any of these are canon because they're all parallel works.
Well, this one is technically, the weird thing is, and it kind of irritates me now that I know a little bit of background on this one. There was talk for a long time that they were going to make a prequel series that focused on Genome fighting against the anti-spirals. I would have liked that a lot.
That would have been cool.
Yeah, but that's basically what this is. This is just showing kind of what he said, where he showed them what it would be like if they kept fighting. And in my mind, this is canon. I didn't think it would go as far as Genome slaughtering his own soldiers if he realized that if they won, that this is what it would look like. But like, you got to see Super Galaxy Lagann, which was pretty cool, and you got to see him like activate the actual Teplin gunman. So, and like the fact that again, like they had the Guame armadillo like walking with him when he was approaching it, I was like, that's kind of cool. Did he get the idea for the Beastman because he had a pet armadillo?
Could be.
Like, that was, man, never gonna happen. But God, if I could have got that prequel series, woo!
You know, it's not too late. I know Gynex is basically dissolved, but Trigger could do something if there's interest.
It is. If they could get just something out of it, it's oh man, there is untapped potential for days in there. But oh well. Number 9, probably one of the most out there ones we have.
Yeah, it's called Khitan Zero, an adventure of the Black siblings set just after they met Kamina and Simone, detailing how Khitan came into possession of his gunman. And is it just me, or is this pretty much this like in the same style as episode 4 of the series?
It kind of is, but mixed with, weirdly, in my head, Aeon Flux.
Interesting.
Because, like, there's certain parts where their bodies get unnecessarily lanky. But the way their faces are animated, it's a lot more jaggedy and straight lines, kind of like that episode 4 animation is. So that might be on purpose, because that's where that was the only episode you had, is where you first met the Black siblings. So that might be on purpose. But yeah, it's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they get their own little outfits that you never see again. They actually have an all-out war with these weird-looking people. I just wish it would have had lines. That's the only thing I can ask for. Like, these are really cool concepts. And like, again, they'll never get explored. And that was the reason for it. They were like big what ifs, but it's just like, I'm one of those people that almost demands closure when I watch stuff. I hate it when it doesn't have endings. So when I was watching all these, I'm like, that would have been so cool.
Right?
Yeah. And like, I gotta think of which one it was. The next one. I don't know what they were going for in this next one, but my God, it might be the coolest setup for one they've had.
Okay, yeah. Number 10 is The Sense of Wonder, a love story about Simone and Nia. Excuse me for a second while I actually take a look at this one, because
Go ahead.
This was a really good concept.
In my head, it was like the early Disney's animated film version of Gurren.
Yep, it certainly looks like that.
Because it's like you had the fairy tales and all that, and you had Genome keeping like Nia's secret, and like you had Gimme and Dari running around, and she was helping them play with toys and stuff, and they had to like demand and rip out Simone from the castle to prevent him from seeing her, and just like the difference in the animation style was awesome, and that music, holy crap, that was good. I don't know what it's called, but it's the first time I've heard it. But man,
I think this might be the best looking of all these parallel works.
Yeah, it is by a country mile, in my opinion. And I honestly thought that the music was a fairy tale version of Happily Ever After for a while, but it turns into something completely different. But yeah, it looks so cool. And like him and Nia escape and they meet Viral's family. Viral gets a lot of love in these freaking animated things, especially his wife, who you only get to see for the like 2 seconds in episode 26, I want to say. Oh man,
there's a reason Viral's one of my favorite villains.
Oh, he's so good.
Anti-heroes,
yeah, he's so good. He like can't say it enough. He has one of the best arcs in that entire damn show.
Okay, the next one is My Triple X is the best in the universe. A video in the visual style of Nia's flashback.
That's what that was. The flashback with the bear and all the stuff from when she was a kid and when she was a doll being discarded. That's what that was. I knew that damn art style looked familiar. Shit, for people that don't know, when I want to say it's episode 11. I think it's episode 11, the end of the Simone Get Your Shit Together arc, when Guame is saying she was just a toy to be discarded, and then it plays, I believe it's Teddy Bear that gets taken out of her possession, and you had that weird, like, I want to say, it looks like it's paper crumplings into things. It's a specific art style, and I can't think of what it's called.
Yeah, the name of that style escapes me too, but it's this is one of the more like one of the more far out there ones in terms of like the style and the presentation.
Yeah, but they also put in the rap song "Don't Push Me" because I'm so close to the edge. I was like, where? Like, that's the only song that's not from the show that's in one of these, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, because all the other music, as far as I know, has been featured on the soundtrack.
Yeah, it's either something that's brand new for this, like I'm pretty sure the one from the Sense of Wonder, unless it's a remix of something and I'm not catching it, has been a song that's played in the show before. But yeah, that was, again, we really can't describe it because a bunch of stuff happens, but just go watch it. It's like motion through paper mache. It's really weird. And I don't know how to describe it. Besides that.
Yeah, that's the best I can come up with too.
Yeah.
This next one's pretty interesting. Goodbye, Gurren. Gimme and Dari find a series of mysterious doors in the underbelly of the Gurren. It's kind of cool to see Gimme and Dari get a little bit more exposure.
The good kind of exposure.
Yes.
But again, there's so many different styles of animation in these, and this one reminds me point blank of a Studio Ghibli film, but I can't think of which one.
Hold on, let me take a look at this again, just to.
Because you're the animation guy here, so I thought that if anyone would recognize, and I could be totally off, but it reminds me of a Studio Ghibli film. And part of me thinks it's either Howl's Moving Castle or Spirited Away.
Oh great! I can't find anymore. But
crap! Hold on. Let's see if I can bring it up quick. History.
But I do see a little bit of Ghibli influence in there.
Yeah, I don't know. My Neighbor Totoro, maybe. I can't remember. All of it's blanking in my head, but man, it reminds me so much of one of them.
Here's something I'm curious about. If they made let's say this show ended at episode 15, would you have liked to see like a spin-off series led by Dari and
Gimme? Oh yeah. Them as kids, like being gunman pilots, heck yes. I would have absolutely loved that. That would have been great. I would have wanted more with Simone, obviously, but yeah, those two getting their own little adventure could have been cool.
Yeah, that's just one of the first things that came to my mind when I saw this short.
Yeah. It also happens during the Battle of Teplin.
Yeah, it's just interesting setting.
Yeah, but yeah, that would have been cool. Like that was one thing when the show ended. Like Simone's gone, and then Gimme and Dari are the two main pilots of Gurren, and Viral is the head of the Spiral Forces representing Earth. I was like, that is a show and a half right there. I need to see that.
Right?
But they left it where they left it. I got my closure. They left stuff open to be where it want to be, and it's whatever. Could have saw it, but it's fine.
Okay, this one's another weird one. 13 is Big Building, a strange Sentai-esque story starring Simone and Rossiu.
Yeah. I honestly don't even know with this one. Because, like, the main basis is that they're fighting, obviously, this weird four-armed sword thing that Genome, I'm assuming, is controlling remotely, but they never really say. And then Yoko helps him for a little bit by shooting at it. And then Rossiu and him pilot another one that then fights a bunch of randos. and like, they all fall apart and like morph into a building.
Yeah, it's weird, but I do kind of like the sort of like neon, like the neon color of one of those like creatures.
Yeah, and like it's all up against a basically black and white town, so it was a very big contrast. Yeah, it's weird, man. Like that'd be a good way to just describe most of these. They're weird.
Some are good weird. Some are WTF weird.
Yeah, exactly.
We're
almost at the end here, folks.
Yeah, almost there. Episode 14, Kial's Magical Time, 3 minutes before. A magical girl style video focusing on Kial. And so for those who follow Renegade Animation, there were a couple idol anime that we talked about, and man, I was kind of worried that this was going to be like sort of the idol version of Gurren Lagann, because it certainly comes across that way.
Yeah, it does. And then it goes into Magical Girl at the last like 30 seconds, where like Dari becomes a villain. And she looks like one of the characters from Konosuba mixed with Soul Eater. And I don't get it. And then she's like, she basically has a JoJo stand that is Gurren Lagann. And then freaking Kial looks like a Sailor Scout.
Wait, was Dari piloting an evil Gurren Lagann? Like that's like all black with like a little bit of red.
Kind of. It's like she summoned it. It was like a summon. I don't know.
Yeah, these are weird.
They just had an idea. They're like, all right, now make a video for it. Oh wait, I thought this was just a planning stage. Oh shit, it's happened. All right, and then that last one.
And the last one is Gunmen Symphonia, a story about the development of gunmen.
Yeah. It was basically just a gunman / mostly Gurren Lagann like instruction video.
Yep.
But it was cool though, because like you got to see what it would be like if Gurren took over or Lagann took over any of the other ones. Like you got to see all the capital ships, you got to see Enkidu, Virals. You basically got to see the Unicron version of him at the end there. That was so weird. But it's just like, yeah, it basically tells you how gunmen work. It's like an actual really cool instructional video.
Pretty much, yeah.
Like of all of them, this would have just been one where it was like the special features, how gunmen work. But no, it was that. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like this one had the simplest premise, but they still like, you know, did their thing. They went as far out with it as they could.
Oh yeah, for sure. But yeah, that's it. It was kind of haphazard, but I was like, we should cover basically everything, and that's part of it. Now we just got the movies to do.
Yep.
All right.
Like we mentioned before, these are all on YouTube. We'll probably put the playlist in the description.
Yeah, I will for sure. Some of them have some audio squabbles. I will put, or like video squabbles. I will put the playlist in it, but there's also a 1 hour HD version of it where like 2 of them are missing, but those are in the other one. So I will put the playlist and the hour-long video HD version of it in there so you have both. But yeah, that is it. So we'll just kind of head out. Mike, where can everybody find you?
So you guys can find me on Twitter at Captain K482. Check out my quick thought reviews on letterboxd.com/Coach K482. You can find me on all the various Facebook groups just at my name. You can follow Renegade Pop Culture on Facebook and Twitter at Ren Pop Culture. You can check out all our podcasts on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen. And then last but not least, check out renegadepopculture.com. Need an escape? So do we.
Absolutely. And you can find me, obviously, on this YouTube channel. We have more Fresh Takes coming. This is actually being recorded like halfway through another season of a different Fresh Take that we're doing. So you will see that a little bit later on, as you'll see by the weird like flash cut where the beginning of our next series, my room is painted its original color, and then this is going to come before it after my house got painted. So it's going to be a really weird time lapse. But you can find me everywhere at Organoid Zero, Twitch mainly, on YouTube. I do Ruby reviews as well. And yeah, I love you guys. Spin on, and we will see you for the movies. We'll be doing an episode each because each of them is about 2 hours long, so there's stuff in there. But see you guys next time.